What's up guys, it's the Hunter Project here. Welcome to my channel where you'll find monster hunter news, builds, playthroughs and everything in between. Hope you do enjoy the video, and if you haven't already, be sure to smash the like subscribe button, it would be extremely appreciated. I am trying to reach 100 subscribers by the end of 2020 and it would mean a lot to me if every single person watching this video subscribes. And you guys did smash support on the previous video, I am so grateful for it, thank you so much. And I do have something special planned for you guys when I do hit the 100 subscribers. Without wasting any more time, let's get right into the video. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys my wish list on Monster Hunter Rise. So be sure to let me know down below what things you guys are hoping to see in the game, from any weapon ideas, whether that's weapon designs or even new weapon types. And make sure you let me know about any mechanics and features that you might want in the game as well, whether that's from past games or new from something that you've thought up yourself. So coming at number 5, we have better housing options and customizable space. So I know this may be a small niche, but maybe it isn't, I'm not too sure, but I really want them to branch off of worlds customization for our house space, and I want them to make it a bit of like a little mini game in our house where we can fully customize the wall colors, the furniture and its position, color and design even if possible, and maybe even the position of where your house is located in the village. So for example, we could even like start out in a really lower class house with very cheap furniture, and then at the end of the game, when our hunters like progress through their like hunting career, they'll end up living in like a bougie tower with a really nice view, really good quality furniture. I think this would just be really nice to see in the game, especially since World already did start to play around with the idea of developing this area, and it would just be really nice to see. So coming in at number 4, I want there to be some kind of Guiding Lands-esque mode. So especially with how World's big expansion Iceborne, we were introduced with the Guiding Lands, which was very similar to Expeditions, but had a really nice twist of giving us a new map and basically giving us an endless hunting ground where we could level up areas to unlock new monsters, and also giving us the ability to control various aspects of the areas, such as levels and what monsters we want to fight, assuming we had already come across them, whether that's from RNG when we have the areas ranked up ourselves, or another player using a lure to bring the monster out while you're in their lobby. Hopefully Rise can give us something similar, or even give us a Guiding Lands of each locale in the game individually if the maps are big enough, which would be really cool to see, especially if we had like a Guiding Lands for, well of course it wouldn't be called Guiding Lands, but they could actually make it called that, but assuming they don't, it could just be a massive map of, for example, a volcano or snowy mountains or a forest, and that would be our endless hunting ground. But nevertheless, I hope they do add something similar to this in the game, as it would just be a really nice touch, and I would not be surprised if they did bring it along, because it has been in many Monster Hunter games in various forms. So coming at number 3, we have a manual farm with an automated option during endgame, potentially, but obviously they can mix up how they would implement this. So if you've played any of the older Monster Hunter games, especially Freedom 2 and Unite, back then we couldn't just hand off our crops to an NPC and just wait for them to grow during the course of some quests. We had to manually go do everything ourselves. So in the farm there was ores you could mine, honey that could be collected, and some fish that could be caught, and it wasn't automated. You had to go in, mine the ores, collect the honey, capture the fish, and then do a quest and it would reset. And fishing especially had a really fun mechanic where you would fire a net mounted harpoon gun to capture the fish, and it would be timed, so you would have to shoot the net at a specific time to have an optimal catch. So hopefully, if anything, we'll get a little bit more of a manual farm that has the option to be automated for players that don't like that feature, with maybe a lower quality yield for the automated catches, just so players that invest the time do actually get a better reward. I feel like it does add a whole other area to the game and a bit more immersion, having to get down and dirty with the crops yourself rather than NPC interaction. So it would be really nice to see. Hopefully they do implement it, but I'm not too sure they would, as they have been going further and further away from the manual, but you never know. Coming in at number 2, we have crazier weapon and armor designs. So I really do hope that we get a lot more crazier and interesting armors, similar to how the older games did it, especially with the Elder Dragons, where many of the weapons and armors had little animations, where, like, for example, with the weapons there might be a little animation to amplify the visual of their attacks, and there were a lot of more animated textures. For example, the Akantor Greatsword, where the shard in the center of the sword would glow, and the actual scales of the sword would separate and spread further apart. And another example being Eucanalos's, where the spikes on the sword would they would spike up and become more prevalent when charging the greatsword. I want some weapons that have over-the-top visuals, as if they were a mod from Monster Hunter World, as I feel like a lot of the reason the world's armor and weapons were more toned down from previous games, like for example like 4 Ultimate and Generations, was due to the fact them being HD and very realistic to an extent. So the extremely out of this world designs of like weapons and armor was like kind of swept under the rug. So hopefully now that we have a more classic art style, we can see the return of some nicer armors and nicer weapons. Right, so coming in at number 1 spot is a larger monster list, but specifically bring back all the one-time monsters while maintaining the series' main roster. So of course they don't have to bring back all the one-time monsters, that's just exaggeration, but at least the really good ones. So one of the things I always hated about the older Monster Hunter games were how some monsters from the older games were only there for the specific game. For example, Dalamador and Gogmazios from 4 Ultimate. So I really hope they are able to bring back many of these past Elder Dragons while maintaining their general roster, such as like Kushala, Teostra, Lunastra, who were common in most of the games as part of the Elders lineup. Maybe not Lunastra as much, like with World, where she wasn't there but got added in later. But the point being, I hope they can maintain a large Elder Dragon list while trying to bring back some of the older ones. But of course, with the main priority being adding a few newer ones first. My main hope is that we have a monster like list the size of Generations Ultimate, which would be crazy. Even if 2/3 of them are older monsters, the more the merrier. So of course we do still want like a good amount of new monsters, but if they had a strong lineup of new monsters and added in quite a few of the older ones, so we just have a lot of content to go through, it would be nice to see. Like I have no doubt that they'll be able to pull off adding some of the new monsters to the fold, as Magnum Arlo and Aknasom, they all look fantastic in design, especially Magnum Arlo as the flagship. Really impressed with how they designed it, and can't wait to play the game. So this does bring us to the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and let me know down below what you want to see in Rise, which hasn't already been confirmed. I look forward to reading what you guys have to say. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.